Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
And here we go again. Here's a live look at Exact Track 4D radar. The forewarned weather team is tracking a second round of storms to hit Metro Detroit. Just as some areas are cleaning up from round one last night, more storms are headed our way. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Ty Steele.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Karen Drew in for Kimberly Gill. Let's get right over to forewarned meteorologist Ron Hilliard. He is in for Kim Adams this evening with a close look at the latest timeline for these storms. Ron?
Karen and Ty, these storms will be rolling through even before some people get their lights back on from those storms last night and this morning. Exact Track 4D radar showing that we don't have the storms in southeast Michigan yet. A couple of sprinkles are possible, but the storms that we're looking for are not going to come until later on tonight, much like how we had last night and this morning. So I do want to show you the main concern, the threat that we have here in southeast Michigan. We are under the level 2 or slight risk category for the majority of southeast Michigan and most of Metro Detroit. That does not include you in Macomb County. We're still under a marginal or level 1. But right about I-69 and southward, that's where that concern is going to primarily be. Now, those temperatures right now are on the hot side, right around the lower 80s. Now, this heat is going to help to get those storms fueled and bubbling up, and also to give them the fuel to last into the late evening hours. So we are concerned about this. It is going to be staying pretty warm out there. As we look at the hourly forecast, you will see that we see the temps still in the 70s, even to around 70 degrees as we're heading toward midnight tonight. And that's the time frame that we're concerned about for those storms to roll through, right about 9 o'clock to about 2 o'clock in the morning. So again, you want to make sure that you do have multiple ways to get alerts. That's including the forewarned weather app, a NOAA weather radio, and of course right here on Local 4 News. So I'm going to talk more about the timing of this and the risks that come with these storms for tonight, coming up in a few minutes. Ty and Karen?
And all of southeast Michigan did see those storms overnight, but it seems Livingston County really did get hit the hardest.
Now, we're still officially waiting on the National Weather Service, but damage does suggest that a tornado may have touched down in Gregory. Nick Monticelli is there with a closer look at the cleanup effort.
I think it is safe to say that in the communities of Gregory and Unadilla out here in Livingston County, Hickory Farms got hit the worst. In fact, take a look. Their roof no longer exists. Also, follow me. I want to show you this over here. This haystack over here, the massive haystack, all used to be covered by a barn. As you can see, that barn no longer exists.
There was like a 120-foot barn that covered all of our hay, and some equipment's in there too. And then several wagons are flipped over down there, a lot of trees down, a lot of power lines down.
Sam Topping owns Hickory Farms in Gregory. Last night, he grabbed the kids and took cover in the basement.
I could see the lightning. It was cold, and I was shaking, and I did not like it.
Once the sun rose, they realized the damage. The shop roof torn off, their bus stop shack tossed around. But the worst of it, a few hundred feet away. Barns torn apart, roofs missing, and equipment thrown on its side.
We have an excavator, so we'll try to pick it out of there and save what we can, and then go from there.
Down the road, Kathy Collins listened to the storm.
Yeah, just watching the winds whip and wondering, and I could hear trees cracking, so I knew we were going to have trees down. That might require a professional.
Not your husband is what you're saying?
No, I don't think so.
I won't tell him you said it. And while the cleanup takes time, everyone knows rebuilding will take even longer.
Get a hold of the insurance company, hope they treat us right, and then get everything cleaned up and rebuild what we have to.
A little closer now to the barn that doesn't exist anymore. You can see the structural beams are still here. In fact, a lot of the nails now poking out. The police department says despite all of this damage here and all over this town, nobody was hurt. We're in Gregory. Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
I want you to look at this. She was saved in one of her kids' phones as world's greatest mom. And then in her phone, she had them saved as my oldest, kid 1, and kid 2. It's a case that sparked national headlines, and now the Pontiac mother accused of abusing her children will now head to trial. On Valentine's Day, Oakland County Sheriff's deputies discovered the children living inside this home in squalor. As Priya Mann shows us, prosecutors say for years, the siblings only communicated with their mom via text.
Prosecutors called 4 witnesses to the stand, and for the first time, we learned new details about what deputies encountered when they walked into that Pontiac home, where prosecutors say the children had lived alone in horrific conditions for years. And we want to warn viewers, some of the details might be disturbing.
Our initial thought was we were checking the apartment for a dead body.
The stench was so strong, deputies were stunned to find 3 frightened kids hiding behind locked doors.
They were just crying, couldn't really understand what they were trying to say.
Deputy Curtis said the home was unlivable.
There were just trash out everywhere, feces and cobwebs throughout the entire downstairs.
Prosecutors say the children had not seen or touched their mother in years and communicated primarily via text.
They would ask, and then she would respond, I don't have the money for that, or maybe next week. She would delay things, put them off.
After the children had been found, Kelly Bryant voluntarily showed up at the police station.
Her appearance was the most surprising thing about it. Her hair was done. She was wearing what appeared to be new clothes that were clean. She had long fake nails. And to see the contradiction between what I observed all 3 of her children to look in their appearance when I arrived on scene to then see her in her condition was somewhat jarring.
The defense argued the children had normal BMIs and were articulate when questioned by police. Prosecutors say the kids did not know how to flush a toilet or use a toothbrush. During the police interview, Detective Brish said Bryant told police she had sacrificed the kids for herself and was focused on her own fate.
For her to be primarily concerned about her own well-being or her future, it was bothersome.
And Kelly Bryant will go to trial facing 3 counts of first-degree child abuse. She's also facing 3 counts of welfare fraud. She waived her right to an exam. No date has been set in either case. In Pontiac, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Prosecutors say Bryant lied to family members about the children's whereabouts. Her cousin was in court today, but didn't want to talk to media. Well, the charges against a Detroit man accused of shooting an autistic teen have been dropped. On April 9th, the teen was mistakenly dropped off by a rideshare service near Lenox Street and East Warren Avenue. Now, the teen was taking a photo of a house in the area to help family locate him when 47-year-old Robert Pugh allegedly fired multiple shots, striking that teen in the lower back. The teenager survived. The case was dismissed due to a misunderstanding and lack of evidence.
Live look here at the White House as President Trump is returning home from the Middle East after 4 days of diplomacy and deals. He's touting a major investment in AI and energy that will hopefully promote high-paying jobs for Americans. But as NBC's Melanie DeZona shows us, the trip is also bringing controversy.
President Trump is returning home from the Middle East, capping off 4 days of business dealings and diplomacy.
It's been a tremendous time, and now it's time to go back home.
The president touting an agreement with the United Arab Emirates to build a massive data center in that country. American companies will operate the center and offer American-managed cloud services. Mr. Trump also saying the U.S. offered Iran a formal proposal for a nuclear deal.
They know they have to move quickly. Something bad's going to happen.
The trip, though, not without controversy. Republicans and Democrats alike are concerned the president's plan to accept Qatar's gift of a $400 million luxury jet as the next Air Force One. And while the president says deals made will benefit the country, they could also benefit the Trump Organization, which has big real estate deals in the region. And Trump's new cryptocurrency company is now backed by companies based in the Middle East. The president shrugging off concerns.
I really don't know anything about it, but I'm a big crypto fan.
With his role as a deal maker solidified, the role of peacemaker more elusive. His promise of ending 2 conflicts not panning out. In Turkey, talks to end the war between Ukraine and Russia stalled. Though Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with contingencies from both countries, neither leader's at the table. Though Ukrainian President Zelensky was in country, Russian leader Putin was not.
We're going to get it done. We got to get it done.
And Israel ramping up airstrikes on Gaza, killing hundreds in the past few days. President Trump sounding sympathetic to Palestinians.
A lot of people are starving on Gaza, so we have to look at both sides.
And back home, President Trump facing a big battle over his big, beautiful budget bill.
Conservative hardliners joining all House Democrats in blocking the package in committee, with hardliners seeking steeper cuts to Medicaid and clean energy tax breaks. But lawmakers vowing to work through the weekend and will be back at it next week. Melanie Znona, NBC News, Washington.
7 Mile and Revere Street going to look a little different. The city of Detroit honoring music legend Amp Fiddler with the unveiling of Amp Fiddler Avenue. The Detroit native made a global impact working with icons like Prince and George Clinton. He is credited with mentoring artists like Jay Dilla and shaping the sound of funk, soul, R&B, and hip-hop.
Despite his stellar career, Fiddler always remained humble and dedicated to his craft and his community. I say this because anybody who says Amp Fiddler, their face lights up.
The event marks the official recognition of Amp Fiddler Day, celebrating his legacy and influence on Detroit's music scene and cultural history.